already been practicing writing his name with ECM after. Speaking on Find the Lost Pieces, Mr. Greg Hennig.
We got Father's Day coming upon us, and we think about our parents and Mother's Day and Father's Day. How many of you have had your parents give a statement to you of some moral, just saying that they have? One or another. Well, we've all had. My mother would tell me constantly, don't say something about somebody unless it can be something nice. My father, on the other hand, he's not really a father, he's a dad. Let's get this thing straight. It's Dad's Day, not Father's Day. But my dad would tell me things like, fools' names and fools' faces are always seen in public places. And then he would leave it at that. He would say nothing more. So I became an attorney in public eye. Paid for my speeches. Well, jury arguments. But I always wondered what he was trying to tell me. And I have children of my own and now grandchildren. And there are stories I've wanted to tell them and carry forward with them to try to carry this a little farther. There's a story, any of you have ever been to Italy, you know they're famous for their towers. Many of the towers have been torn down outside of Pisa, which makes a living out of it. But every town and village had a tower from which you could see other areas. Towers were generally put up by each particular family so they could protect that family. And the bigger the tower, the more the prestige. Well, there was one father in Italy who had a son, and right there in the square, the tower abutted to the square, his son was arguing with some of the other people. Now, this is not an ancient time. This is recently. And his son told the other person, not just are you an idiot, but you don't know what you're talking about. You're worthless to everybody here. Now, the father, the city councilman, took his son aside and he told him, did you really mean that? Was it something you really meant to say about that person? And the son told him, I was just angry at the time. He just really irritated me. Father asked him, do you think you've done any harm to him by what you said? He says, nah, it'll blow over. There's no harm done. I know him. There are a lot of people here. Some of them know him. If they don't know him and they don't know me, what difference does it make? They'll never know anything anyway. Father said, I see. Indulge me for a moment. Indulge my patronization. Let's go inside, and I want you to do something for me. I want you to sit down with this piece of paper, what he told them, instructed him after they got inside, and write down that person's name you just spoke ill about. I don't want you to just write the name. I want you to write it 100 times on that one piece of paper. So the son went with his father and said, okay, I'll do it. He wrote it down, and after he'd written it down 100 times, his father said, fine, now let's tear that into 100 different pieces, each with his name on it, that you've written. He tore it into 100 pieces. Said, come with me now. Pick up all these pieces. Well, the son was carrying the pieces, trying not to lose any of them as he walked up. They went up to the top of the tower. The son could not figure out, why are we up here? What's he doing? The father said, now, throw the pieces. The son just threw them down. The father said, where did they go? Well, they went all over the place. They're everywhere. The father said, now go pick up those many of those pieces can you pick up? Well, he went down and tried to pick them up, but there were some he could not find. Obviously, there are always some that you can't find. Some will be taken by pigeons, no harm done. Some will be taken someplace else. Some will fall, never to be found. But some will be picked up by persons who know one or both of the people. Some will be picked up by strangers who will walk away. The father took his son aside after he came back with what he could find and said, "Now what harm have you done?" The father said, "Let me explain it to you. You've taken this person's name, you put it out there with ill. You can't pull that reputation back of what you said about that person. Not only that, it was in your handwriting, so it makes ill of you, because people know that something false was made in a statement from you, so they think less of you. And they will think less of me, because I who raised you had not taught you